And now to other stories. Anuoluwapo Karounwi, a young software developer, has created Yorlang, a programming language designed to write small programs using Yoruba language constructs. For Anuoluwapo, this could make programming easier for people who think better in Yoruba. He has shared his invention with Olayemi Odunuga. Have a look.
Python, Java, JavaScript and Ruby are examples of special basic languages every programmer should know. They were used to develop software programs, scripts or other sets of instructions for computers to execute. But these languages can seem a bit overwhelming and confusing for a newcomer. Now, with Yorlang, a programming language designed to write small programs using Yoruba, Anuoluwapo Karounwi makes learning to code easy for indigents of southwestern Nigeria.
The thing is, with Yorlang, when you see the keywords, like we have some keywords here that is she, which is an if statement in English. And when you read it word after word, it sort of makes sense to you. You don't really have to think too much about the logic because you are reading it in your mother tongue if you are the type that understands things better in your mother tongue like I am. The features in Yorlang consist of basic features a programming language should have, like most C-derived programming languages, so which is Jekki. The documentation is actually quite clear, so it takes it step by step in a sense, but just like every other programming language out there, you still have to have some small guidance on how to do things because the documentation of the language is just the documentation.
What were the hiccups he faced along the way?
There were some things I had to do that required a lot of something we call recursion. So it's recursion at a very big level, and wrapping my head around that was a bit confusing at the start. Another challenge I faced was trying to get it to import other files within it in a way whereby the file paths will not be difficult for the users of the language to understand, and yeah, I passed that audit.
Anuoluwapo imagined people who think better in Yoruba would find it easier to understand programming as beginners if they could reach the keywords in the language they were most familiar with.
One thing I had in mind when I was creating it is to make it an educational tool, right? So for me, if I can get it to schools for kids that probably don't understand English all that too well, but might want to be interested in programming for some reason, using Yorlang as a map for them to compare. They still have to learn the proper programming languages, but getting into the programming space, understanding it in your mother tongue can make it easier to understand the languages you want to deal with.
Anuoluwapo's aim is to ease the learning process of coding as well as prove that local languages can have a place in the technology sphere.